Welcome to the Art of Success TV. Mr. Leahr, I'm very excited to have you here today on the first episode. Really excited. We're going to talk about a few topics concerning success today, about success in life as well as personal success, success in business, and how to start a successful career. I'm just going to introduce you to our audience out there. In the last 30 years, you worked for marketing leaders like Proctor and Gamble. For Coca Cola, you did jobs for the US military, and you finished a really highly successful career as a senior corporate training consultant for Anthony Robbins and the Anthony Robbins company. Now you decided for entrepreneurship and you bring your company Clear results to Innsbruck, to Austria, to Europe. And you can consult individuals as well as companies in the areas of stress management, conflict management, mediation, leadership strategies, and success strategies. You were a featured lecturer and speaker for the Junior Jamba International. You hold seminars in Cannes, in France, in Sapporo, Japan, and as well as in Las Vegas. And you were the co-author and the host of Junior Jamba International World Congress in Vienna, where you spoke in front of 5,000 participants. Is that right?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
In which state of mind or how confident has a person to be to speak in front of such a big crowd?
You know, I think it's more of just the love of what you're doing.
Okay.
And for me, to be able to have that privilege actually was, was really nice for me. It was a very big honor. And I put a lot of effort into it, but the effort paid off. And so when I was on stage, of course, and talking to the people, it was the love of what I was doing and the realization that, hey, this is really something great, and I'm proud to be here. And so it makes it easy.
Okay, perfect. Since this is the first episode of Art of Success TV, we're going to install a little ritual here. So my first question to you is, what is your favorite success quote? What is the story behind it, and why did you choose it?
Okay. Favorite success quote would be, you have a choice. You can live your life by design, or you can design your life. And for me, that really stuck. What it means is simply that a lot of people, go through life and they have, the normal things. They go through school, get their degree, get out there, get a good job, have a family, get married, have a family, and they're, living life by design. It's more that it's one step after the other.
Powerful,
yeah. You can do that. There's nothing wrong with that. And I think that for a lot of people, that's the way to go. And it's good. Or on the other hand, you can design your life. And designing your life simply means that you are choosing different paths to take, maybe experimenting a little bit more with areas that you're not as familiar in, but you're interested in, and actually taking a chance or taking the time to do that. With me, for a lot of years, I just lived life by design. I was very content with doing what I was doing, but then I would look and I'd say, I would really like to try that, and what's preventing me from doing that? And really, the only thing that was preventing me was me. And so I took this opportunity and just started doing things that I really wanted to do. And not so much that I said to myself, well, you really can't do that because it's scary or whatever. I just got over the fear and just did it. And and through that process of doing things, I found that eventually there are certain points in this path that you're doing or in your life where opportunities happen. And it's just a matter of seizing those opportunities. So that's more designing.
That's powerful.
Designing your life, yeah.
The last one is obviously the more exciting, and you're gonna reach your goals, and that's awesome.
More risk, of course.
More risk, but
more reward.
More funny, maybe.
Yeah, and more fun. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. I already mentioned in the introduction that you work for Anthony Robbins. Those who don't know Anthony Robbins, he's one of the most famous success coaches in the world. We can say he coached millions of people on how to live their life by design. So you would say you were a friend of him, and you were in his surroundings. So what are the three major things you learned from Anthony Robbins, and how did you kind of practice it every day in your life?
Yeah, Tony. I have to say that Tony was a huge influence in my life. I was very, very fortunate to meet this man, and he really did change my life. As he says, you know, if you've ever seen any of his infomercials or just advertisements, you know, the man does change lives. So I will always be appreciative and very happy that I met him. With Tony, I guess 3 things you were saying. More that, one, I really could do something. You know, I really do have the ability to do it. It's just more that I had to believe in myself more that I can do it. And that was something that, you know, at the time I was struggling with a little bit about the belief systems that I had and how to change those beliefs into something that really motivates me to move forward. So a big change as far as belief systems. And that was, I guess, the main thing. Tony also showed me maybe some of the things that we'll talk about later, is how to seek out information that really helps you and how to seek out people who can also help you with that information. We don't do anything alone in this life. It's always about, of course, we say networking now, but it's always about talking to other people, finding people who are already doing things that you want to do, and doing them successfully, of course. And then there's a thing that Tony talks about is modeling, and modeling their behavior, which means doing the same things they're doing to achieve those results. So those are the things that I've gotten from Tony, or I got from Tony. At the time,
Powerful. You talked about modeling people, about finding people who already got the results and just making the same strategies as they are. Sometimes people want to find a mentor. They want to find somebody who they can learn from and to connect with. What is, in your opinion, the best way to find a mentor? Can you just go out there and just, hey, can you be my mentor? Or do you at first have to give and then have to get? Or how does it work?
It's not. Wouldn't it be nice if it was just go out and say, hey, you want to be my mentor? Really, I know you don't have anything better to do, so be my mentor. No, it is really. I think the first thing is to focus in on what you really want to do. And that has to be the main thing. Really look at it and say, okay, I want to go on this path. And then actually do research. You know, you really have to put some work into it and do some research on who's actually doing exactly what you're looking at doing and who's doing it well, who's been successful at it. And then, again, it is, you know, taking the opportunity or the risk of contacting that person, explaining who you are to that person and why you know you want to, you know, do what they're doing, and then asking for help. You know, a lot of times people feel that because somebody's really successful or they have, you know, this status, that they're, you know, too high up to maybe talk to, or maybe they're too busy. And what I found a lot with people who are very successful is that they're more than willing to share that information, and no one ever talks to them. You know, because they feel, you know, others feel that, well, they can't talk to them. And I tell you, you know, it's really great when you can meet someone and actually just, you know, sit down, maybe have lunch with them and just talk to them and tell them what you're doing and ask for their advice. And yes, you know, you can ask them, would you be my mentor? May I come to you on occasion and ask you questions, or would you please help me to see how to get this goal that I'm looking at? You know? And but people don't do it. That's the thing. They don't take the action to do it. They just kind of sit around and go, well, I wish I could do it. You know? Or as Tony said, you get into the should zone, you know, where you say, you know, I should do this or I should do that. And you should and you shouldn't, you wind up shoulding all over yourself, you know. So yeah, just make it a must instead of a should.
In my life, you were the best example, because before I contacted you, I always thought, what, can I do this? Can I do this really? And then I said, okay, I must do this. Maybe he is so open that I just can talk to him a little bit or do an interview like this one here. So sometimes, or in the most cases, the result is that those people are willing to talk to you a little bit, and maybe they both sides can help each other.
You want to. I think when you get into it after a while, it's more, as you've achieved successes or if you've gained results, it's more about giving back. And the joy comes really from giving it all back or helping someone else to achieve. It's an inner feeling. It's just something that makes you feel good. It's not about money. It's not about gaining. It's more about just giving, and that's and that's why. And a lot of people are like that. A lot of successful people are like that. So yeah, it's good.
When we're talking about going out there and doing things, I think in the area of personal development there are two areas. There's the theoretical approach where you read books, where you learn things on a paper, and the practical area where you go out and you do things and you learn stuff by experience. What do you think is the best way to start with the personal development, or where to start?
Well, I think you just said it. It's more that, one, you have to make a decision that that's where you want to go. And really that decision has to be a solid decision, not an if, well, maybe I'll try this. Maybe I'll try that isn't going to work. It has to be more that, okay, I'm really, really going to make an effort and do this. Theoretical, yeah, you have to study. You have to look at other people, read, read other people's books on what they've done, develop questions through those books, come to some kind of conclusion, for yourself, and then go out and seek out people where you can get this practical experience. Maybe you apprentice under someone, or you do an internship with someone, or you just, sometimes I've worked for people for free just to gain the knowledge. And I figured, well, I gave something, I gave myself, and look what I gained back. Because what you're going to gain back is worth more than the money you might make or something. So yeah.
There's this well-known quote from Zig Ziglar: if you help enough people to get what they want, you can have everything which you want. I think this relates to this point.
That is true.
Okay. In the first lesson, or in the first class when you had you in the university, you wrote a quote on the table which said, "Success leaves clues." Do you think success is learnable?
Absolutely. And this is something I actually learned from Tony. This doesn't come from me. But success leaves clues. There's no mystery to why people achieve. And there's also no mystery to why people fail. And what you have to look at is, with these people who are successful, what are they doing every day in order to achieve their success? Because a lot of times you find that successful people are the ones who are willing to do the things others won't do. It's like in sales, making maybe one more phone call than other people, or maybe going out and doing one more sales call, or maybe practicing your presentation, a little bit more, looking in the mirror, really, really honing it so that you can become the best at it and making it your own. It's something that we also talked about. But this is where the success leaves clues. And you find that all successful people are doing what we talked about again in class, these 5 key areas. They're all doing this. And it doesn't matter what country they come from, what language they speak, their age. It doesn't matter. They're all doing these things. So it's right there in front of you. You just have to just look at it and go, there it is.
Awesome. Yeah. You mentioned the 5 areas key areas of influence. It's okay. Could you give a small summary about them?
Yeah, sure. One is creating a unique identity for yourself, the USP, if you will. It's also learning how to create rapport with people, because I think that's a challenge, because if you haven't met someone and we all have our idiosyncrasies, it's how do you really create this rapport with this person to allow this person to really want to talk to you. It's the same thing we do in relationships. I mean, sometimes you get in there and you're like, oh my, I'm so nervous. But other times you're very comfortable. So it's learning how to create this rapport, creating these rapport skills. Estate management, how you show up every day. What kind of anchors do you have inside you that get you where, in the right frame of mind that you need to be in order to do what you want to do. And then, the difference between persuasion, influencing, and also questions, the power of questions, asking the right types of questions to get the answers that you're looking for, get the results that you're looking for. And again, this is not something that I created, but it's something that I use all the time, and it really has worked.
And it's powerful.
Yeah, it is powerful. It's very, very powerful.
Okay, awesome. Here at Art of Success, we want to cover all areas of success and all areas of life. So we talk about fitness, we talk about success about successful careers, successful business, entrepreneurship. Do you think it's important to keep the balance over all these things, not just chase the money, but also take care of your body and take care of your fitness?
I do. If you don't have your health, you don't have anything. So regardless of how much money you're making, if you're sick, it doesn't help. I mean, it pays the bills, but I think if I were to choose between the two, health is more important, because as long as I have my health, then I can always go out and make money or do what I want to do. But if I don't have my health, if I don't keep myself in shape, or just watch what I'm doing, not do anything too much to excess. If I don't do that, then of course everything else breaks down. But it comes hand in hand. I mean, if you're doing it well in one area, you can always apply that same principle to another area. Yeah,
that's true, of course. Another question, a little bit hypothetical, but think about me giving $1 billion to you, and I say you would have to do something good with it. What would it be, and where would you invest your money?
$1 billion. Well, if I had to do something good with it, I think for me, my focus would be on education. And I've thought about that before. If I had $1 billion, what could I really do with it? I mean, of course, you want to take care of your family and all those things.
Yeah, of course.
But I think that I would look at a system that's broken in a lot of areas, and this is education. And I think that the basis for young people, really children, is that they have a good grounding, and hopefully I could contribute to that in some way. I mean, yes, there's a lot of causes out there. There are a lot of things that are wrong, but you can't fix everything. So maybe just one area, and I think that would be my area.
Awesome. Cool. Now we're going to talk a little bit about entrepreneurship. A lot of young people, or people in general, are thinking about starting a business. And I think today the products, or how to get the right product, is not the problem. The problem is how to get the product and the message of the company, the philosophy, out there to you, to the people. Maybe you could give those people who want really to start a business, you could give them a small advice on the right marketing, where to start, where to focus, and where to set the focus.
If I were to give an advice, one, I would say you have to know exactly what your product is. What are you selling? Is it something in terms of a service, or is it an actual physical product, for one? And you have to understand who would want that. I mean, if you turn around and say everybody would want it, then you're really kind of killing yourself at first. You have to look at, what market do I really want to market to? Who are the people that I want to have this product, who would be interested in that? So that has to be a main focus in the beginning. Who am I selling this to? Who am I marketing this to? And look at it from that perspective. Then it's more of, what is the best way to get my message across? Is it by, having something like what we're doing here, where we're doing a video? Is it more of maybe a brochure that you send out? Is it more of an internet application that you use in order to gain interest? And look at what is the best way to hit that. Am I serving a niche market? Just a certain group of people. And what is my outcome with this? What am I looking at financially? What am I looking at as far as benefits? What am I looking at as far as improvement as things go along, and how to do a check and balance between those two. And again, talking to people who are maybe don't have the same product, but have the same model that you're looking at, and see how they're doing with their models. So that would be. I
think this prototyping or testing the product with the potential customer is really powerful. Yesterday at a workshop, I got a very nice idea. It's about prototyping, not about do your product work, but would your customers use the product? And they had this nice example where they wanted to sell a speech to word translator, where you speak in and you get the words on the computer. And they thought about, okay, how can we prototype this product? And they set people into a room with a microphone, and they thought they were speaking directly to the computer, but in the underground there was a person on the computer who just typed the word in. And before this test, the people were, oh, okay, we would buy this product, so let's test it. And afterwards they're like, oh no, we're not so excited about the product, and they got with little investment got great results on if the people would use the product. So this is very important.
Yeah, and even just off the cuff thinking, if you will, on that, we can say words, and the words can be typed out, but where's the emotion behind the words? How do I determine, you know, is that what the person is saying? You know, it's like those three words we talked about, rapport, and how you know, the tonality of what the words are and what the meaning is behind that. Because oftentimes, you know this in business, people say things, but what are they really saying? You know, how do you read between the lines? And how do you really understand and appreciate what it is? Yeah.
You have to master this skill. So it's better to call a person than to write an email. It's
much better. I think, and I've said this before to others, where the email is very nice and it serves a great purpose and it handles most everyday things. But if you want someone to feel something in a message, then write him a letter.
Okay, okay. Before I ask my last question now, I really have to say thank you one more time for spending your time with us today. And I really can feel your passion as well as here as in the university, and you're giving something back, and I can really feel this. So thank you for your service here.
Yeah, thank you.
So my last question is, what is your definition of success?
It's a very, very good question. My definition would be having fun, doing something you really like to do.
Okay.
You know, it's not money. Money is a byproduct. You know, money comes just as you're doing it. But if you're having fun, and if you get up every day and you go, wow, you know, I have another day to do what I really love doing, that's success. Okay. You know, and that's my definition of it.
And when you can make money by doing the things you love to do, then
of course,
that's even greater. Not focusing on money, but that's about it.
Money's not everything, but at least with money you can arrive at your problems in style. Okay, you know, that's okay. But no, just really, really enjoying having fun at what you're doing, and saying, you know, and knowing that you did something productive with your day. You know, that was enjoyable.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you, Mr. Leahr.
You're welcome.